Okay. Now, last time I mentioned that I did not finish some of the Q questions, huh? and later, if you have any verbal question, maybe we can take a few. Huh? Now, in Mahayana Buddhism, we often talk about phenomenal, xiang, and nature, xing. I think kong xing or xing. And the three characteristics you mentioned, are they phenomenal? Uh, or the last one is universal characteristic of anicca, dukkha, anatta, seems to be more like true nature. Currently, we can only work on individual characteristic by noticing different qualities of the object thoroughly. Increasing mindfulness and noticing continuously is the main way or the only way. Anything else can help or can hurt. Okay. Now, as I said, right in the beginning of the practice, a lot of times in coming to Vipassana, we need to put every of your knowledge, even your suttas, if I'm Maya Mahayana, Vajrayana, Theravada, or whatever it is, you got to put aside. It's only we bring the mind into here to really practice. Yeah? Now, while we are here noticing all these objects, if you were to try to relate to what you understand theoretically, sometimes that understanding can be all corrupted or mixed until you get very um, mixed up in that sense. Now, here the question is that are these phenomena on true nature? Now, when we say that anicca, dukkha, anatta, we talk about, now you look at your paper, you see, we talk about individual characteristic, we talk about triple characteristic, we talk about the universal characteristics. Yeah? All these things, when we look into Vipassana, all this Vipassana thing is always internal. We look at it as internal as much as possible. And it's easier for us to develop the practice. Yeah. Now you take like a hardness. Say just say maybe you're just rising and falling. Different yogis sees the rising and falling differently completely. Depending of your development. If you're a beginner, you just see the individual characteristic. This is movement. This is moving long, short. It goes long, it goes short, it goes hard, it goes soft a bit. This is all you can note, or more or less that you can note, or most of the time you can note these things. That means the individual characteristics is clearer to you. But if you were to go deeper into the practice, or another yogi has done some practice longer period of time, then he noticed the rising and falling. He doesn't notice the rising and falling as just up and down. He noticed the rising and falling changing here and there. There's a lot of changes that's going on. Like this rising after it becomes short, it become long again, it become change in quite fast manner. Uh, So now they are watching into the 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 triple characteristics a little bit more. Sometimes they notice how exactly it begins. Sometimes you notice how it stops. Sometimes how it begins, then the middle is clear, the end is not so clear. As I said, the triple characteristic does not come all at one go. So, but another yogi who is more advanced level, when you notice the rising and falling, he or she noticed that the arising and falling, there's no form or shape. It's just only arising and passing away. Everything is just arising and passing away like in a very fast manner. Same object, the noticing is all different. Yeah. So it's all depending on the level of the yogi. So all these things is, in a way, is all internal. It's very much internal. Uh, uh, so especially like, especially like sometimes Mahayana, you have the Heart Sutra, when you talk about emptiness, sunyata, Now, a lot of times we interpret that thing as something empty, Like you meditate, empty. How many times during the talk, how many times during in the retreat, I say that is not the way. But you interpret it as to be empty in that sense. Empty your mind from all the thoughts, empty everything, empty. So you get all the emptiness, you get satori. You get all the this one. But that is not, because as I said many times, behind it is craving for that emptiness. That is not what is meant by that emptiness. Here, what is meant by emptiness? The Buddha used the word in emptiness even in Theravada context also. But the emptiness here is emptiness of an I, emptiness of a God, emptiness of a self, emptiness of all these created things. It's only mind and bodily process. That means the emptiness still got mind and bodily process, but no I there. There's no controller there. There's no God there. There's no soul there. Empty of the soul, empty of an I, empty of it. But the process is still there. That is what is meant by the emptiness, sunyata. Yeah, sunyata in the sense that the moment that you practice, is your mindfulness is clear, is your mindfulness is alert, and you're not thinking, you're not biased, and you truly pay attention, all the way that you go up, everything is changing. Everything is changing. Now, then only the yogi, the meditator will realize that when it comes to that emptiness, in the sense that it's empty of all the I, the conditioning, and so on, then all the interaction of this mind and bodily process, this time they see it as empty, although the process are still there. Uh, uh, Even when you goes into the deeper level of, for example, when you realize Nibbana also, and I said that some of the words that I use, or even the Buddha use, is called cessation. That means everything's, all this arising and passing, all this process stop. It truly stop. But this time, even it stop also. You there's a, you know that stop is without I. The cessation is still without I. The cessation is not somebody created the Nibbana. It's that you realize the Nibbana is already there. You realize it. Yeah? It's not like created by something or someone. Yeah. So it's empty, but not in the sense of, I mean, it's empty in the sense that, but this one we have to look at it as, again, there's no controller that is creating Nibbana. Yeah. Whereas, if you're not ready for it, let's say you meditate, and then everything become empty. But the thing is, at that time, the latent defilements, or the I, the idea of I is still there. Who is looking at it? Who is looking at the empty? I am looking at the empty. The I is still there, although the object empty, but the I is still there. Whereas when it comes in a deeper vipassana, you see process, but there's no I that's involved. You see the nibbana, although it is empty, but there's no I that is involved. You see, the defilements are difficult to see, especially this one. Yeah. So So everything is all deep inside. Uh, you say that how are we going to able to improve yeah, this meditation? Uh, Well, we're going to talk about it, I mean, in a short while. But I skipped this thing yet because one of the last question also they asked about this. I go to the next question.